Okay. All right, we have a presentation today, 6 Steps to Protect Your Heart Using Natural Methods. And my name is Nancy Main, and I'm a holistic nutrition coach. And I'm learning how to use this equipment, so bear with me here. I love to study health and nutrition. Something happened about 10 years ago. My husband had a health crisis, and he got really sick, had to be treated by modern medicine. And a couple years into that process, the doctor wanted him to have a mild form of chemotherapy for the next decade. And he was getting so tired he couldn't drive himself. He would fall asleep while he was driving. And some of the signs and symptoms that I saw, I felt like it was a problem to continue doing that to himself. And I didn't want him to. I got kind of upset when the doctor told him to do that. And I said, no, I want to try something natural, holistic practices. And he agreed, and as a result, I signed myself up to figure out what that was. I didn't know what that meant. So that got me on a path of really wanting to investigate and find out different ways to help us stay healthy. I ended up finding out that I had some problems that I didn't even know I had, and I started feeling a lot better too during this process. Now, I've read a lot of different books, and I took a 6-month nutrition course, and I'm not a doctor though. I'm not a doctor. So this is not intended as medical advice. It's intended to expand your resources. And I have some handouts. My daughter, this is my daughter Roseanne, she's been helping me today. Yes, that one and there's one other one. Can you hand them out to the people that are interested, please? So I'm also wondering, has anybody else had a situation where they had somebody that was ill, that was a friend or family member, and they wanted to wish they could help do something for that person or themselves? Has anybody had anything like that? Does anybody want to tell a little story, a short story about what that was like? You want to tell a little bit about your situation, what it was like to have somebody needing help?
Well, this 23 years ago, my mom had colon cancer.
Okay.
And it was in stage 4, so it was very late.
So stage 4 colon cancer, your mom had.
Yeah. And they operated everything around, and they wanted her to do chemo, and she did go through some chemo. And
then
it just became violence as she was weaker and weaker. So I had, like yes, I wanted, of course, it was an extreme case, but I had wished that there had been something different for her.
Okay, so she had extreme chemo and got sicker and wished she had something else.
Yeah, I mean, in her last 6 months were horrendous.
Okay.
I feel a big part of it.
Okay. She had a really terrible last 6 months. Saying because this is recording and I can't hear you. Okay. So we have heard that cholesterol causes heart disease. Has anybody else heard that? So all these organizations say that that's the case. American Medical Association, the Heart Association, all those people, they tell us that. So it's no wonder that we think that. This woman, Dr. Shanahan, is a MD and a researcher, and she has written a book that kind of shocked me more recently called Deep Nutrition. This is her book here. And she is one of the many people who are saying cholesterol is not actually the cause of heart disease. So she's well schooled and has investigated this subject also with lipid science. Lipids are fats, and the scientists that study fats are lipid scientists, and they've been doing research that they have tried to get out to the public already, but it hasn't been publicized. Now, this is Dr. William Davis. He's a cardiologist that has people with very severe heart conditions come to him for help because they hear about his reputation. He puts them on a diet and lifestyle plan and never has to go to the hospital because the people that he helps get better and don't end up in the hospital. So that's not quite the usual for a doctor who's a cardiologist. Now this doctor is a heart surgeon for 25 years working on over 5,000 surgeries, and he says inflammation is the cause of heart disease, that if it wasn't for inflammation, the cholesterol would not be stuck in the arteries. So it's inflammation rather than the cholesterol that is the cause. Why do we think that cholesterol is the cause? This is the man who popularized that idea. He had a theory that cholesterol was the cause of heart disease. This Ancel, and he was a charismatic young man that the press loved, and he was involved in some studies. The studies found that when you substituted vegetable oils for saturated fats, your cholesterol lowered. The problem here is that your cholesterol might have lowered, but the other half of the study was never looked at, and the other half of the study said that if you lowered your cholesterol by eating vegetable oils, you were actually more likely to die younger. So that's a problem. So why don't we know about it? We're not really sure why the second half of the study was not publicized or calculated or whatever they needed to do to it. And at the same time, the food manufacturers were just starting to make things like very refined vegetable oils that didn't spoil, lasted a long time, very convenient for making foods for the shelf on the grocery store. And there were also other manufacturers that were just turning out mountains of sugar, and that was very cheap. So the highly refined oils and the sugars were very inexpensive and easy to make processed foods out of. And these manufacturers wanted to sell a lot of that, so they wanted to make saturated fat look bad, so people stopped eating the way they used to, where they had bacon and eggs for breakfast and ate meat and things like that. They wanted to make that seem bad, so they started publicizing that saturated fat was bad. And there aren't studies that back that up, but we got lied to for somebody's profit. The sugar industry got busted recently when they did a meta-analysis of studies and found that the sugar industry, like the tobacco industry, was telling us incorrect information, having scientists paid to do studies that there was a a decided outcome before the study even started, and the scientists would have been fired if we had a different result than what they wanted. So that is not science, in my opinion. That is messing with people's health. And it pisses me off. This man is a medical investigator, Christopher Ramsden. He went into information, the studies that were done on vegetable oils and saturated fat. And his very short conclusion is in this sentence. Here it says, incomplete publication contributed to overestimation of the benefits of replacing saturated fat with vegetable oils. So basically he went and he found the studies that had not been published, as well as the ones that had, and he analyzed them and found out that it wasn't all as good as we had thought previously, when the studies that we saw were only selected to show us something that they wanted us to see, which they wanted us to call saturated fat bad and vegetable oils good. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Our body needs fats. We make all of our cells in our body with fat. There's some in every cell membrane. Our brain is 50% fat by weight. If we deprive ourselves from the healthy fats that we need, then we're making ourselves not as well. So this is a lipid here, which is a fat molecule. There's numerous kinds of fat. This is my little model of a lipid. What happens when we digest fat molecules is in our intestinal tract, as it goes through the wall, it puts a little protein. That's what this blue part is right here. It puts a protein on the fat, and this protein is like an envelope with an address. It says we have polyunsaturated fat, we have monounsaturated fat, we have saturated fat, whatever the kind of fat, it tells our body what it is, so as it gets into the bloodstream and moves around, our cells can say, oh, that's the kind of fat I need, let me have that one. So the problem comes when this protein address is damaged. So as it travels through the bloodstream, it may get damaged by something it encounters in the bloodstream, or it may get damaged by the contents internally. And that causes the envelope and the address to not guide it where it needs to go. Now, nothing can recognize it, including the liver that usually reprocesses the lipids after they've been mostly spent at providing our fats that we need. So once this is damaged and unable to be used, it wanders until it sticks on artery walls. So this is how we get fat coating our artery walls and causing problems. Free radicals. Those are the things that cause damage and can actually take this protein and just rip it off of here, so that we have a naked fat that can't function like it's supposed to. So a free radical is a atom that's lost an electron, and our molecules are made up of a bunch of atoms. So once it loses an electron, it starts trying to grab that missing piece from wherever it can. It'll go around to the cells near it and try to grab the electron off those cells, and therefore it damages them in the process. And depending on our level of oxidation or antioxidants that we have, it'll do more or less damage. And I'll continue here about that. they can become a cascade of damage, and it's like a burn. And in this case, you have a lipid or a fat molecule in your blood vessels that lands on the side of your blood vessels, and depending on how damaged it is, when it gets there, it can have more or less free radical activity going on that can damage the inside of your blood vessels. Burned artery walls can be damaged to the point where they're like crispy fried chicken skin. And you can imagine it. If you're feeling stiff in your hip, like I do every now and then, or your joints in your wrists, you know that's not a good thing to get more stiff and more fragile, right? So that's what happens when we get free radical damage in our arteries. So the way, it's like, why do we get blood clots? You know, what is this thing? Blood clots that are causing deep vein thrombosis or heart attacks. Why? And what will happen when our artery is damaged is that the cells on the lining of the wall will get damaged so that it gets back to where the collagen is holding everything together. And once live blood hits collagen, it becomes a blood clot. So how did you get a blood clot? Your arteries got so damaged that the blood touched the collagen and made the blood clot. So you don't want that going on, right? The heart also can become stiff from this kind of damage. So it's oxidation that causes free radicals, that causes free radical damage that can make tissues stiff and not functional. So we don't want to oxidize our cells, we want to antioxidize them. One of the very most challenging things to do to the body is to eat fried food, like French fries. Now, Bob here in the health food store tells me that they bake their fries, they don't deep fry them. I think that's what he told me the other day. That's a good thing, because when you fry like French fries or onion rings or things like that in a deep fryer, that's often used for a whole week before they change the oil again. So it's fried and fried and fried, and then you're putting food in it again, and that heat over and over and over again makes that oil very damaged. So it becomes like free radicals. It's like way more full of free radicals than anything else. They did a study where they took a bunch of young guys, like 20-year-olds, and they did a test where they cut off the blood flow in the arm for a period of time and then let it go to see what happened. So before they did the restriction, these guys had in their blood vessels a 7% dilation when the blood flow was opened up again. So that that's what our blood vessels are supposed to do. They're supposed to have plasticity, so they move when we need it. So if the blood flow gets cut off, then your blood rushes back into that area and the blood vessels open up so that it can. And when they ate one serving of French fries and then did the test again, the blood vessels dilated less than 1%. That's like an 80-year-old's blood vessels. It's like as you get older, your body starts not being as plastic, right? So this is what a 20-year-old can do to themselves. Imagine if they ate French fries every day.
But this applies to the healthy fats like coconut oil. If you were to make fries at home in a fresh melted coconut oil, would that cause the same type of damage, or would it be because you're frying it like fried?
So if you make fries at home with coconut oil, would it do the same damage?
Right.
I would say that at home you're probably not going to keep the same oil and use it over and over again. the thing that damages oil is if it gets over the smoke point, and coconut oil has a certain smoke point. I don't know if you can actually fry food in it and have it below that, or if you were to bake it with coconut oil, you'd be fine. Like put it in the oven, 350, it can handle that, and it's not going to get damaged and become free radicals.
The smoke point's pretty high. I think it's in the 400s or so.
Okay, so that's the thing to know about oil. One thing to know about oils is that if you're below the smoke point of that oil, then it's not going to get full of free radicals. Yes? Well, it could be a visible thing, but you can look up online about what the temperature for smoke point of each type of oil. Now, there's another kind of confusing thing about that, and that is that when you take all the antioxidants out of the oil through refining it, it makes it have a higher smoke point. But you also took all the antioxidants out of the food. So you're refining it to a larger degree. And that's the one thing that I haven't found out the details of with avocado oil, for instance, because I know it's supposed to have a high smoke point. But I know that a lot of times they refine it so much that it's clear, whereas that would be a green goop. You know, green goopy oil, if it had all its antioxidants in it, but antioxidants have color. Yeah, and that's one of the things that Dr. Shanahan says, most rapeseed oils, don't touch them. Because don't use them, because for the most part they're highly refined. So that's the thing that's causing the problem, is the refining process, not the type of oil. So if you were to take sunflower seeds and press them in an old-fashioned squeeze press that slowly squeezes the oil out of those sunflower seeds, and then you were to eat it like that in salad or something cold, you would not be causing free radical damage. If you heat it high and use chemicals and all these things, they have giant machines that do, which is great because they get a lot of oil, but in the process they're damaging that oil so that when we eat it, it's going in there and causing free radical damage in our bodies. And also our body needs fat in every cell that it's got, so you're taking damaged oil into those parts of your body, which is a problem. And that's also Dr. Shanahan says that these free radical type oils that are highly refined are more dangerous to your health than smoking or drinking a glass of wine every day. So she calls them liquid death. Now this is a part of why I was so shocked, because who knows that? Do you guys know that? Like, wow.
So and that's where the cold press, managed by your oils that are cold pressed.
Cold pressed, yes, and really cold pressed. So they'll look murky. You know, they'll look murky. They'll be kept in the refrigerator section because they aren't stable. So you're not going to buy that in a bottle looking clear on the shelf. Yes.
What about butter?
What about butter? Butter is a saturated fat. Saturated fat is very hard to damage. So that's why one of the things they used to do in restaurants is they used to cook the French fries in saturated fat, but everything changed over at some point, and now it's all vegetable oil. So the saturated fat can be fried and not get the same free radical damage. Of course, you might still end up with some inappropriate things in it if you use it over and over again and keep heating it up all the time. That kind of thing. There's other saturated fats like coconut oil and animal fat, which actually aren't easy to damage. You can put them on the shelf and leave them there for months and they don't deteriorate because they're very stable. So stability is a lot easier on our body than something that's highly, when it's exposed to oxygen, damageable. And I'm going to...
And lard is also coming back because of that reason. We're now able to get good lard.
Right, lard is getting a resurgence in use. Also, it's important to know that fats absorb toxins. So you don't want to just get any lard or any butter. You want to get the best you can afford. So you want to get organic, and if you can get pasture-raised organic, that's going to be more helpful because there's a different vitamin profile in it when the animal eats green grass instead of not eating green grass. Things like that are also important. Oh, I forgot to. This one of the ways to lower inflammation, which inflammation is what happens when you get free radical damage. So the ways to lower your inflammation load is to learn which foods are inflammatory and which foods are anti-inflammatory. So with your diet, you are medicating yourself. You're giving yourself health, or you're contributing to your unwellness, depending on what you're putting in and the degree of it. If we're mostly eating French fries and fast food, then we have a high degree of inflammatory stuff coming in. So free radicals, we talked a little bit about this, but one of the reasons why the polyunsaturated fats become free radicalized is from these double bonds here. Poly means two, and it has at least two double bonds in the oil. And those are places where it can become oxidized. And when things are oxidized, it's kind of like rust, and rust on your metal pipes is oxidation. So it's creating a process of damage. Trans fats, most people know about trans fats being an issue, bad for our health. Unfortunately, there's not much information out there at all right now about the polyunsaturated oils being a problem. So these are polyunsaturated oils. Canola, soy, sunflower, cottonseed, grapeseed. This is from Dr. Shanahan. This is her list. Non-butter spreads. That's all the margarines and things like that. Did I put that on the handout?
Yeah, you have a list of oils and fats.
Okay.
It's also here on page 1.
Okay, so I did list that for you.
The other bad thing is highly sprayed crops.
Yeah, well that falls into the category of the other toxins you can get. Toxins can cause free radical damage too, so what? Canola oil, it says heart healthy on the bottle. That's been the myth for a long time, and I'm telling you from the latest research that's been happening, that is a lie that I'd rather you not believe, because I don't want people to be more sick. I want people to be more well, and unfortunately big business sometimes wants to hide certain things from us because our buying habits might change away from their particular product. So you can choose and not be a victim of lack of knowledge. That's my role. I'm hoping to help you know. So, and I'm giving you also copies of the studies that say that, the links to your books and whatnot, so you can look into it yourself. You don't need to believe me, because who am I? I'm just a person that wants you to be healthier. Polyunsaturated oils are in everything that's packaged. If you're getting tortilla chips, popcorn in a package, They even put it on blueberries that are dried blueberries at Trader Joe's. They have oil on dried blueberries. Now, why? I don't get it. If you buy things like the biscuits in the package and all that, Cool Whip, that's one. I recently heard about somebody who was doing a diet and they were saying, oh, Cool Whip is authorized by whatever, Weight Watchers, right? And I'm like, oh gosh, that's like anti-Weight Watchers, and why are they doing that? Because that's another thing that polyunsaturated oils do, is they kind of mess up your blood sugar, as they gum up the system, and cause like me to have dysregulated blood sugar that I have to like be really careful in order to not have my blood sugar go up above where the 100 point where it should be below. So anyway, that's a lot of stuff there. And so this is step 1 with my How to Protect Your Heart, is avoid trans fat and refined polyunsaturated fats and oils. Does anybody have any question of what that is at this point? No? Okay. Step 2, eat healthy fats. And we also need polyunsaturated fats. So if we eat sunflower seeds, if we ate whole canola seed, that wouldn't be a problem. It actually has the whole nutrition in there with it. It hasn't been damaged. We never tried eating a canola seed, so I can't tell you what that's like. But all the different kinds of polyunsaturated oils come from something that was a whole food originally. And if you eat that whole food, if you're not allergic to it or something, you're going to get the whole nutrients, all the antioxidants and the fiber and everything with it that makes it possible to process that in an appropriate way. So our brain needs polyunsaturated fats because we need a kind of movable liquid fat to help our neurons go back and forth and all that kind of stuff. So if we eat whole food, we're going to get that. Nuts, seeds, some grains and things like that. Step 3, this is really important. All the manufacturers that make sugary stuff don't want you to do this really, because you have to cut back at least on some of the foods that have sugars in them, especially packaged kind. Try to eat sweet, fruit and things that are whole foods instead, to the degree you can. I have to be really careful personally and eat like a half a cup of blueberries a day and maybe a little bit more fruit at lunchtime or something. I can't really do more than that. And I wish that I had known this stuff when I was younger, so that I knew that I was gumming up my system with what I thought was healthy food, It's like, I had a lot of training because my mom was a nutritionist. She went to UC Davis, and back then they knew a lot, but they didn't do everything. So she didn't know that margarine, for instance, was not a good idea. Anyhow. So Dr. Shanahan suggests that a blood sugar level under 90, like when you do the prick test, you have the little monitor, and that's what I have to do. Or I don't have to, but I choose to check my blood sugar every morning so I know. I keep track of what I eat and these different things that I do so that I know what's making it get higher and what's keeping it at a better level. Because I do not want high free radical levels in my bloodstream. I don't want to age myself. So it's a big challenge for me. It's not easy, Healthy foods can taste good. Now, I brought a sample of these muffins that I made that do have a little bit of honey in them and the applesauce that I don't know if you want to try, but I have chocolate version and a plain version, which is applesauce cinnamon. And My daughter's in here is going to pass that around. I forgot napkins.
There's probably some
That's true. Did somebody get some? Thank you. Yes.
So, like, what do you think about stevia? Or
What do I think about stevia? I think stevia is one of the better choices. So if you look at the package of stevia, there's a lot of them that have other things in there that I wouldn't indulge in personally. So it depends on your situation and how your blood sugar is, and only you can figure that out. But if it's plain, then that's fine, but it's not always. And it doesn't always taste good in things. And then I've been trying to find monk fruit, for instance, because monk fruit's supposed to be another one like that. But it's got other kinds of like dextrose, which comes from wheat, and I can't have gluten personally. So, you know, what are they doing? Why don't they just give me regular monk fruit powder? I don't know, but I read labels, and I recommend that you read them too, and learn as much as you can about those things, because then you can protect yourself better. Do you have a question?
my sugar's really low. I can have nothing but
Yeah, they're cut in half. I cut them in half because I know people usually don't want to eat a whole thing. She'll get that. Okay. All right. So, one thing yes, they're gluten-free. Okay, these muffins that are going around have coconut oil, coconut flour, applesauce, egg, cinnamon, and vanilla. And the chocolate ones also have cocoa powder. And that's it. Baking powder, or baking soda, I mean. And the recipe for these is on nancymainhealth.com if you want to go there and make them yourself. I put the cocoa powder in that version, but you can also have it just with applesauce cinnamon without putting cocoa powder in it. I've heard a lot of people saying, I couldn't ever do without my chocolate cake. You know, so this is an option. Yeah.
Being a mom and trying to cut this stuff out, but having children who want sweets, and I don't want to deprive them of some of those really nice things, especially when we go places where more kids are allowed sugary foods than mine are. It's nice to be able to bring a healthier option, and chocolate's one of them. And I haven't, this is actually the best, like, coconut cake, gluten-free cake that I can't do coconut flour. I mess it up. This is amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you have, I'm going to say this again, is you have kids, and a lot of times they go to functions, and you don't want to deprive them. It's really challenging to be in somewhere and not have them be able to eat the food that's there, but this particular recipe is good enough that if you brought your own for them, they would be happy with it. Cool. So I want to tell you about Daikon Radish, because it's something that I absolutely love and use every week. Daikon Radish is a really big radish that's very mild, and I use it kind of like a potato. So I can cut it up and put it in a stew, and people that don't know me or come visit and eat that, they don't even know it's not potato. Also, I will make sauce out of it because I don't want to make sauce with gluten, flour, and stuff like that. I'd like to put more vegetables into my diet, so if I take this, steam it, grind it in my blender with olive oil, and put a little salt and pepper, it can be like a white sauce. So I can pour that on my noodle, because I have certain kinds of noodles that I eat, like I make zucchini noodles, and then there's this other kind I can't remember the name of right now. There's so many things that can be done with Daikon Radish, and if you guys start eating Daikon Radish, then Bob will buy it here because it keeps like 2 months. It's really great. You can put it in your refrigerator for a long time, so he could have it for a long time. So if even a few of you used it, and I have recipes on my website that show some of the things that I do, and I keep uploading more stuff nowadays because I want to support people in knowing how to use that.
So where do you find it?
Well, I have to get it from Whole Foods, which means when I go to Fresno or if I have to go to the Bay Area or something, I buy a whole pile of it and bring it back as much as I can get by cooler.
Grows here, right? So.
Yeah, we grow it too. You can grow it. It's radish. Radishes are like weeds. Although you have to do it in the cool season, in the summer, they're not going to make a root. Pardon?
Cook it.
Yes. The spice level goes down when you cook it.
Are these vegan?
No, they have egg. So you can make it. That would be reorganizing the recipe hugely to make it vegan because there's a lot of eggs in there. Yeah, there's probably vegan recipes that would work. So, step 4, kick out the toxins. So toxins come into our lives through pesticides and herbicides on food that's not organic, from personal care products, from household cleaners, infections that we have in our body that we may or may not know about create toxins. We get in our water and air, and mold definitely causes toxic effects. So this is a subject for a whole other talk. I don't really want to go into all that right now, but if you're interested, you can let me know.
On here.
Yeah, we have a sheet that we're going to pass around where you can say what if you want other kinds of classes, and there's some listed on there. That doesn't mean that's all that could be done. You can put your own.
This one is the tally.
Yeah. So step 5 is increase your antioxidants. So a lot of people who are doing better, and when they're eating a lot of French fries and stuff, they're likely eating also a lot of antioxidants somehow, so that their body can manage it. Because if it's not managing it, then the person's going to be aging. So if you increase how many antioxidants you're getting in your diet daily, you're going to do better overall because your body will be calming down the free radical activity instead of amping up to make like an internal fire. It'll be cooling it off and keeping it calmer. So whole foods have antioxidants, bright colored things. Like here we have, these are flowers from my garden. Calendula, arugula flowers, and mustard greens, which all these are like weeds and they plant themselves. And the plant of the arugula and the mustard is also edible, but anything live and colorful through natural means, not artificial, is going to have a lot of antioxidants in it. So if you just increase fruits and vegetables, you can add flowers to your salads. Get as many colors as you can because those are phytonutrients, antioxidants kind of things. Essential oils are really high in antioxidants. And we have this wonderful young lady, Janine over here, that she gives free classes on how to use essential oils and can help you find high quality essential oils. So then you have something to pass out too.
I don't have something to pass out because we don't have my next month's class schedule set up yet, but what I can do is pass around a piece of paper, and anyone who's interested can write down their name and phone number for me, and I can call or text or email you my list of next classes.
Yeah, you can include her.
Or talk to me personally too.
Okay, yeah, I can send you, if we have a sign-up sheet, if anybody wants a PDF of the PowerPoint and links, because in your resources page, there's links to the articles that are talking about the stuff I'm talking about. You can put your email on here, and I can send that stuff to you if you want. Janine's information, which actually it is on the resource page. Your phone number is on there, so yeah. Communicate directly with her if you'd like to have some classes, because you can use it, the essential oils as lotions, as deodorants, for household cleaners, so you can avoid the toxins. There's so many awesome things you can do with essential oils. I highly recommend them. I use them every day. So something else, anti-inflammatory herbs like turmeric, or how do you say that? Ginger, resveratrol, all these different kinds of things that can be taken as supplements. Unless you want to eat a lot of curry, you can put them in curry too. But most people don't eat that much curry, so you can take it as a capsule. And those things can help a lot. Yucca Shadagra. That's something I recently discovered. Yucca Shadagra is a certain kind of yucca that's approved by the FDA for internal use for animals and for people. And it's highly, highly anti-inflammatory. People have all kinds of amazing results of reduced pain and all kinds of stuff when they start taking that. And I put a link to some of those resources in your resource page. Pardon me? I don't know if they have it.
I think we do in solar.
That's right, you have it in capsules. Yeah. They do have it here in capsules. You can get it in liquid form. Also, I'm not sure if they have that. Okay, and having a positive attitude helps everything. So looking on the right side, it's an anti-free radical strategy. So step 6 is exercise. There are certain kinds of exercise that are really helpful, more helpful than others for stimulating growth hormone that helps us regenerate our cells and things like that. Burst Fit is one of those, and strength training, certain kind of strength training. I put a resource to, can't remember what his name is right now, in your resources list, that he has a 12-minute per week workout that he suggests for people where you're actually doing some kind of weight activity, which for me is like push-ups or jogging on a trampoline, to the point where you can't do it anymore. So I'm pushing up and go, and then go another time or two after that, so that the body is saying, uh-oh, I'm going to die if I don't do this, so it kind of gets a certain kind of dynamic going on inside your body, and that helps you to stay fit more than if you did an hour or two of aerobic exercise every day. So you can use a lot less time, and including everyone can do that in some form. So you use less time and have more effectiveness, because all of us are busy, right? We don't have time to spend hours and hours working out. At least I don't. So there's some tests that are useful for telling where you're at with your endothelial function. That's how your blood flows around your body. There's a test for endothelial function that you can ask for from your doctor. There's checking what your blood sugar level is and if it's in the normal range or not, because that will tell you how you're functioning in that too. See if you got the works gummed up like me or not. And you can check your blood pressure. That is a good indicator of how the blood is flowing through the system. Elevated liver enzymes are telling you that the liver is having a hard time, because the more inflammation you have in your body, the harder it is for your liver to keep everything detoxified. And there are certain enzymes that are elevated when you're not doing that to the degree that's ideal. Now, Dr. Shanahan says this is her HDL and LDL recommendations. Does everybody know what HDL and LDL is? No. HDL is high density lipoprotein, so it's about your fats. And LDL is low density lipoprotein. So they're both fats in your blood, and they mean something when they're lower or higher. And she says that men over 45 should be over 45 and women over 50. That's the number on your test, because right now there's this push in the medical world to get your cholesterol low, and some of these studies that I'm talking about say that every 22, I think it's every 30 points you lower your cholesterol, you're 22% more likely to have a heart attack. So if you get it too low, you're getting yourself in trouble. You don't want to be doing that, but the medical world hasn't caught up with what the studies are actually saying. So I encourage you, if you're working with your practitioner, bring the studies to them. Say, this is what I learned about. What do you think? Can you read it and tell me? Because if you're relying on this person to help you take care of your health, you want to make sure that they know what you need them to know to take care of your health. And if they're not willing or interested, maybe you want to go to somebody who is, which wouldn't be me, because I'm not that kind of practitioner. Anyhow, this is, pardon me?
These are important things to know. Everybody should be getting this at least once a year, or get it twice.
Right. Yeah, I get that checked too. I have so many different tests because I'm trying to see what works and what doesn't work.
Exactly.
So, in conclusion, number 1, eliminate toxic vegetable oils, which means that you have to be a detective because it's so prevalent. Lower the amount of sugar and carbs.
And even like when you're reading labels, sometimes you have to be careful when you're reading them. I was looking at coconut water a couple weeks ago, and I was reading the labels, and I grabbed 2 of the exact same coconut waters, and the sugar content on each label was different. Yeah. And so I kind of just decided that it has sugar in it, and obviously the company doesn't know which one they want to go with, so I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I had to stop drinking coconut water because my blood sugar went way up when I did. So for me, everybody isn't like me, so you don't have to do what I do. But check your blood sugar so you know.
Yeah, but and reading labels is important, and that was a lesson to me that I'm glad I'm reading the labels, but sometimes it gave me the intuition to this is confusing, so now I'm just going to put it back. I'm going to go grab an apple or something instead.
There you go.
Sugar to the coconut water, or was it just coconut waters?
It was just coconut water. I didn't continue to read on what was added.
Coconut water has different levels of sugar on different packages, which was confusing.
Okay.
So it was unclear.
But it was unclear.
So she put it back.
Put it back.
So sugars and carbs. We need some carbs for our intestines to have the right balance of bacteria. We don't want dysbiosis either, which can cause by going on a no-carb diet and not having any of the healthy, helpful carbs, which sometimes is necessary for a temporary period of time with people who have what they call SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth or something. You have to rebalance until you get that out and then go back on some carbs, 10 or 20% max, because right now we have over 50% of our diet as carbs, and as an American, that's the average. So we're way overdoing it, and that is part of why people get dysregulated blood sugar, is because of challenging our system with spikes in the blood sugar by eating carbs, which are just like sugar for our body. Add more whole foods like whole vegetables, whole grains, whole fruit, whole food, not chopped up and put in a package some other form. Yeah, any kind of, like if you're a vegan, a vegetarian, a paleo, whatever the heck, now they have pegan, that's the new thing. Whatever you are, eat more vegetables. You'll do better. You'll feel better. Reduce toxins. So that's a learning process. We can give a class about that if you're interested.
Essential oils will help with that as well.
Yeah, because you can, use them for cleaners and deodorant and all kinds of things. Add antioxidants from food, essential oils, and supplements, and have a effective exercise program for you at your level. Yeah, that might take some research too, so you can figure out what that is. Yes?
I have read in various places over the years that your heart has a finite number of beats.
So your heart has a finite number of beats
For your lifetime.
for your lifetime.
And that, whatever you do is not going to expand that.
Whatever you do is not going to expand it. That's what you read. Now, I've read something about that too years ago, but I can't say that I know anything about that in particular. I do know that what we do that's healthy and don't do that isn't healthy does change our ability to function in this world without pain and think clearly and all kinds of things. And to me, that it makes sense that the heart's going to be functioning better if we do things that care for it and don't do things that are really problematic for it. And beyond that, I can't tell you about the heartbeat thing. I don't know. I don't know if we are born with a predestined amount of heartbeats.
I don't think we'd have a finite, because if you think of like an athlete that has an increased heart rate, or someone that was extremely lethargic and had like low heart rate, like does an athlete have a shortened life period because they use their heart
He's
more?
saying it doesn't make sense
or is
that
their
an
heart more
athlete
fit?
would have a shorter lifespan because they use
Because they
their
use other
heart
beats
and
faster.
they affect their heart rate.
Like if a marathon runner
Right.
would use up their heartbeats faster.
That's true. That doesn't
But
really
they
make
shouldn't.
sense, does it?
Well, I don't know. This one particular doctor said that it would be like if your car was wearing out, because everything wears out, no matter what you do. That driving it faster was going to make it run. He had that metaphor about it. He said that his advice was, if you were older, take more naps rather than go out there and be, cardiovascular.
So the doctor that he talked to at one point said that he thought it was more effective to take more naps when you get older rather than go out and do cardiovascular exercise because that your heart only has a certain amount of beats. In that context, I would not agree. That's all I can say. I wouldn't agree with that doctor. I think that he might not have a whole lot of information that could help him know different things. Yes.
Just one more thing to factor in, you have to look at the Chinese herbalist and live 250 years. Where did his heart go?
This
So
guy was
the
a
Chinese-
the guy that said this was from China, an old Chinese.
This was Dr. His last name was John, and he was a herbalist in China, and he outlived everybody. And he died when a famine came and knocked out his favorite herb, which is the other two young, or it's an angelic.
So a Chinese herbalist
Lived 250 years.
lived 250 years, and because he was a Chinese herbalist, and then the herb didn't grow one year, and then he passed away.
When the drought came and his herbs, he couldn't get his longevity herb, which
The
was
drought
an angelic
came, he couldn't get his longevity herb, and then he died. Okay.
So I have to say, when it's clear about doctors, because they're living proof, and they used to live 1,000 years, so there's a little TB that gets us here.
Right. So it depends on what doctor you talk to. That we used to live longer at some point. So,
in Chinese stuff,
It doesn't matter.
and then
What matters is the quality of your life for as long
Quality
as
of
you're
your
going to be alive.
yeah.
This
So,
is what makes a difference.
he's saying it doesn't matter. It does matter what the quality of your life is. Like, what good is it if we're in a wheelchair and can't function and need somebody to wait on us because we can't even wash our own dishes? What fun is that? Because we as humans want to be able to contribute to life, to people, to the world somehow. That's where our joy comes from, with whatever our passion is, and each of us is different and amazing, and we have something to share. So yes, as long as we can keep sharing, then that's what life is about, right? And the better we can take care of ourselves so that we can be functional, move our arms and legs, and do what we want to do, the better.
Probably the quality of life is more important.
The quality is more important than the quantity. There you go. So that's that one. And yes, I can take care of myself. Each of you is important, valuable, has your own unique contributions to make to this world, and is worth taking care of. So I encourage you to keep doing your best. Also, get support. Like, if you have a buddy to do if you decide to do anything new, your new program, it's a little bit easier to have some support. And I do help work with people. So if you're interested in that, you can let me know. And I think that's the end of it. So does anybody have any other questions? Get back to the beginning. Here.
where is the paper to get that part that you just spoke?
Where's the paper for which part? Oh, my assistant, my lovely assistant here, got it. So if you guys want to put your opinion in, there's a clipboard that is asking what kind of classes you might want next time. If you didn't get that, then does anybody want that hasn't gotten it yet? I should have that. You all got it? And then if anybody wants a PDF of the PowerPoint and an emailed resource list that has live links on it to get to those studies. Anybody want that hasn't signed up already? Okay, yes, what's your question? Okay, when you think of it, you can ask me. All right, I think I'm going to turn off the microphone.
About I wanted to know that cleaning your arteries.
So, what do you use to clean your arteries out if you've been told you have blockages? So, what you need to do first is stop the damage, the food that causes the free radical damage. Because as soon as things change in that department, you won't be building up more damage in there. Then, the next step is to get a lot more antioxidants going in there. I've heard different things like radishes are supposed to be good for helping clean out your arteries, and just antioxidants in general. The yucca shadagra is something that might help with that. Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening to my talk. I appreciate your presence.